this is Anna from Savvy Cat Realty, and today I'm here to talk to you about Santos Populares, which is the popular patron saints parties that go here in Portugal throughout the summer mostly, and they are the popular festivities that are very well known here. So I'm going to talk a bit about these traditions. For those of you who don't know, Savvy Cat Realty is a relocation and investment agency that helps expats move to Portugal. We work with both rentals and purchases and work from a lifestyle perspective. Our goal is to help expats settle in the best way possible, to work with locals and help the local communities by not inflating the prices and make sure the people, the new residents, end up in the right place for them, for their particular needs, which can be anything. So our service is very tailored, and all of the information about our services is listed very transparently in our website in www.savvycatrealty.com. So going into today's topic, which is Santos Populares. As you may guess, the most popular one and the one that is generally the one going first is Santo António, which is the patron saint of Lisbon. And the patron saints, usually each municipality, each town, each village even has their own patron saints, and it's very common for the day of the patron saint of the city to be a holiday in the municipality. So you have a number of municipal holidays around this that are only applying to that specific location. So that is accompanied with the parties. And of course, the Santo António de Lisboa is one of the most renowned ones, being the capital, and it's a whole ordeal. You have the marches, the parades basically, and then each neighborhood has their own parade team and they get rated, and only a few of them participate in the final parade, only the ones that get selected, so it's a whole competition. And in Lisbon, the Santo António, it's a bit more spread out, and you will have a number of parties throughout the city in the typical neighborhoods, and there's a lot of typical neighborhoods. I'm just going to check my notes here on the main ones. So, be prepared to walk a lot if you want to go into the Santo António de Lisboa, which is already passed during this video, and I did go to see some of it. So the filming is from this year, and I did not go to the marches though. It's already enough people just on the regular parties. And it's interesting because they are really all over the place. So some of the most known locations are Vila Berta, Alfama, Bica, and where I did go, which I cannot remember the name right now. Either way, you can walk around the city and visit all of these locations. I highly advise against taking a car. Many of the roads are even cut. So just either park somewhere in a big parking lot and then take an Uber to the downtown locations, or just walk there altogether. Do not take a car. That's a terrible idea. And these parties, they will have like this plaza set up with a lot of tables, and there is, nowadays it's a bit all over the place. It used to be just the typical music, which is pimba, and people would be dancing and partying around it. And nowadays you get a bit of everything. I went by places who had fado, who had Brazilian music, who had like kizomba music, who had electronic music. Nowadays you have a range of options, but the typical one is pimba. And Santo António de Lisboa is from the beginning of June. It actually started right at the start of June. They were already doing some pre-Santo António arraiais. So arraiais is these parties. And the official date is actually the 13th of June. So you have the parades and so on going on at that date. And the typical thing is to go and eat your sardines and your caldo verde, and there's a lot of grilled food on the streets, a lot of drinking too, mostly beer and sangria, and a lot of walking. And Lisbon is known as the city of the seven hills, so wear comfy shoes and be prepared to hike a bit and just enjoy the show. And there's going to be a lot of people on the streets and a lot of different music and a lot of things to see. Overall, it's a very party. It's a very partying party. Santo António de Lisboa can in a way be a bit calmer. Not calmer, but less crowded than the São João do Porto, because Santo António de Lisboa is spread out throughout the city. Only the marches are on a more specific area, but then the party is spread out throughout the city, and there is no, for example, concentrated fireworks like you have in Porto. So as you may have guessed by now, Porto, the patron saint of Porto is São João. And São João has just been this week. It was on the 24th of June. Usually the party goes from the 23rd to the 24th. It's the main night, and the 24th is the municipal holiday. And in Porto, the celebrations are fairly concentrated because you have a big fireworks shows down in the bridge and in Aliados, and there's usually the main party going on in Aliados. And there is a very specific path in Porto. So you start in Aliados, then you go down to Ribeira, and the official typical thing is to walk all the way from Ribeira to Matosinhos, which is a very, very long walk. I've done it once, and I started like at midnight and finished like at 4 a.m. or something. So I did it once, and that was enough for me. It's very interesting to do. It's a bunch of people, like a peregrinação. I can speak English now. Anyway, it's a whole bunch of people going throughout the river coast, and it's quite interesting. And in Porto, the typical thing is to launch this paper balloon, so the sky gets lit up with all these little lights, and it's just lovely. I love it. In São João do Porto, there's also the manjericos, which is a plant similar to basil. It's kind of a little basil that it's typical. It's actually in most of the saints. You actually get them in Santo António too. And you can buy them all over the city, and they usually have this little flag with a typical poem from the saints. And another fun thing about São João is while you do all the walk throughout the city, in the night of São João, there's people with this alho porros, which is kind of a leek-like plant, a very long one with a flower bulb on top that smells very strong. And the people that you don't like, you kind of go, or you just want to mess with them, of course. You just put the garlic against their face or nose, and it will smell terribly. And the other tradition is the martelos, the hammers of São João, and you have these little squeaky plastic hammers, and people just will randomly hammer down your head, and they will do this squeaky sound. So you go out through the streets of São João, and you will hear the squeak of hammers all around, the smell of sardines, and it's a very fun thing to do that you should try at least once in your life. And you also have the sardines and the caldo verde and the people partying in the streets and a lot of tables on the streets. So in a way, they are kind of similar, just some small differences in traditions. And then there's a number of other saints, like the one next would be the São Pedro, which is going to be this weekend. The official date is the 29th of June. And it is the patron saint of a number of places. I think Povo do Varzim is one of the main ones, if I'm not mistaken. And I also would like to mention, just a quick mention of São Gonçalinho de Aveiro, because it's kind of a really fun tradition that they have there. I'm sure there is a number of other places that have very interesting traditions. These are the ones that I know of. And São Gonçalinho de Aveiro is in July, in the like mid-July, I think it's 12th or something like that. And the tradition is that you have these very hard, dry breads that you throw out of the windows and out of the church tower, and people have to catch them. So you have these people like with inverted umbrellas just catching them, and you do not want to catch them with your hands because they are hard as hell, and there's people breaking their fingers because of this. So it's kind of a fun tradition, and it's mostly concentrated in the downtown around church, and people throwing these hard breads, pães de São Gonçalinho. And talking about hard breads, there's also an interesting tradition around Santo António, which is the bread of Santo António, dos pães de Santo António, that are breads that are supposed to be blessed by Santo António, and they are kept from one year to the next, usually in convents and so on. And you are supposed to eat them the next year, and they are perfectly safe to eat. And the tradition here is that they are blessed by Sant António, so you eat them the next year and you will be blessed by Sant António. This is actually something that my mother does, and she picks up her breads from the convent in Coimbra, so that's a curious one. Although Coimbra, the patron saint of Coimbra is actually a Rainha Santa Isabel, which is the queen saint that gave food and bread to the people, and the king didn't like that, and the legend goes that she was distributing almas, which is food and money, to the poor people, and the king caught her, and when he asked what she had hidden in her dress, she was like putting it inside her skirt and folding it. She said it was roses, my lord, and when she let go of the skirt, the almas transformed into roses, which made the queen a saint. So the patron saint of Coimbra is Santa Rainha Isabel, and there's also some festivities around it, although I cannot think of specific traditions at the moment. But as you can see, it's a whole thing. So all of this, the towns and villages have their own patron saint, and there's very often traditions around each specific saint. So do tell me if you ever went to any of these parties. Did you enjoy it? What traditions did you find out? Because I'm sure I don't know about a bunch of them. So it will be very interesting to know what you have discovered. And I hope you enjoyed these videos and some of the traditions I do know about. We are here every week with information about Portugal, relocating to Portugal, cities of Portugal, and overall information that can be useful for new residents looking to come to our beautiful country. If you find this useful, please do subscribe to our channel. You can also find a lot of useful information on our blog and our website in general that you can find in www.savvycatrealty.com, or contact us directly at contact@savvycatrealty.com if you have any direct queries for us. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you enjoy your saint season, and that you have a great week. See you all next week. Bye.